I'm forever bursting bubbles. So Tosin, you were right. Bubbles to be burst. So welcome to the match review of West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3. So let's get into it. First of all, I've got not two apologies, I've got one apology to make, and that is for Nicolas Jackson. Nicolas Jackson gave him a little bit of stick yesterday, where I was saying that, after the comments by Enzo Maresco saying that he's the number one striker, I said he's still got a lot to do to prove himself. But boy, did he prove me wrong. And I like when players prove me wrong. And I'm hoping that he's going to prove me wrong now until the rest of the season. I hope he stays consistent, because today, those two finishes that he did were superb. And that's all you can ask for a player. Two clear-cut chances, two goals. I loved the first goal, because West Ham is always a difficult place to go to, as we already know. I mentioned that in my preview video yesterday. And we silenced them. We silenced the London Stadium, because they were quite vociferous. Had they scored the first goal, then it could have been a long day. But we scored and we just kept them quiet. And it was a great bit of invention by Nicolas Jackson, a quickly taken free kick. And not only that, he did then play the little 1-2, knocked it and carried on his run. No West Ham player in sight, but yet 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, similar to the Crystal Palace one, but this time he scored. Good finish between the keeper's legs, and 1-0. And the second goal as well came about 10 minutes after. Very good finish, and it's a bit too easy for us, but we were playing a bit slow, and we quickened up the play as we entered into the penalty area, and it was a lovely pass by Moise Caicedo into the path of Nicolas Jackson, and he sort of, with the outside of his boot, a slight curl around the goalkeeper, 2-0. But I'm not getting carried away by this performance, to be honest. It was a good performance by Chelsea, but West Ham played into our hands as well. They were poor. Their midfield was non-existent. They weren't competitive like normally you have in a London derby, and they made it a bit too easy for us. And the other thing was, which was a little bit of concern, was after 2-0, when they got back into the game a bit, they kind of had a couple of chances where they penetrated our back line a bit easy. But that's picking up bones, because we kept a clean sheet. They had a VAR, one chalked off for VAR, and there was another one where there was a penalty shout. I don't think it was a penalty. Soft. It was Anthony Taylor last week. He'd probably given it, but we had a proper, decent referee today. That's what refereeing's about. He saw it, didn't give it, and Stuart Atwell in the VAR box didn't give it neither. So it remained 2-0. But as I said, it was a couple of scary moments there. But what we're seeing, concentrating a bit on West Ham for now, a lot of people who are having a go at Chelsea in the last couple of years, because we've gone through a transitional period. We've got new players, we've had different managers. This is what happens when you go through a transitional period, especially when you're trying to implement a new style of play, because this is what Lopetegui is trying to do at West Ham. He's trying to implement a different style, because under Moyes there was sort of dogged, defensive, counter-attacking team. He's trying to put them more on the front foot, sort of higher line, and it's going to take a bit of time to get used to. They played 5 at the back today, which didn't quite work, and he admitted his mistake by putting on Suchek in the 42nd minute or something to shore up the midfield, but then still they weren't that competitive. So I was expecting a better West Ham in the second half, to be honest, but we knocked the stuffing out of them. Nicolas Jackson once again with a great ball to Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer, good finish off the post into the goal, 3-0, and the game was. It wasn't over in the first half. It was definitely over there. And we knocked the stuffing out of West Ham, as I said before in my little intro. We burst their bubble. Bubble truly burst, and that was it. And talking about bubbles truly bursting, Tosin, he said bubbles are going to burst at the London Stadium, and I said, if you're going to be saying that, Mr. Tosin, you got to be saying it with chest. And he did say it with chest, because him and Fofana, round of applause, great defensive display by both of them, always on the front foot, stopping West Ham. I said first half they got through a couple of times, but in the main, we kept West Ham at bay and 2 clean sheets. That's what I'm more important for me. That's the base, because last year we shipped 57 goals, and to keep back-to-back clean sheets is just as important as getting that win, because it's going to give the defenders a bit more confidence and a base to work on. And kudos to Maresco as well for that, because he wants to play a higher line and possession-based football, but he's not afraid to change his tactics. Like Leicester, they were playing that higher line, but today he dropped his lines a bit against West Ham, so they didn't have any gaps. We know that Paquetá, we know Kudos are quite great at exploiting space, but we didn't give them any space. And there's a couple of inventive things to by Paquetá to try and get round, but apart from that, we sort of kept them at arm's length. So it was good to see our defensive unit working great. And Disasi, who came on today as well, he had a bit of stick last week, but today he came on, he was flawless, didn't put a foot wrong, so plaudits go to him as well. But Nicolas Jackson probably gets my man of the match for the 2 goals that he scored, but who ran him really close today, I'd say, is Moise Caicedo. Moise Caicedo's fine. I said it last week, and again, he's carried on that performance. He's showing why we paid the money that we paid for him, and he was putting out fires again today. Great tackling, strong, and the assist for the second Jackson goal, and he was just immense out there in the middle of the park. And as he grows and grows more into this Chelsea setup, and we've got a star in the making. And that's what I'm saying about having patience with these players, because people are getting on his back and other players back last season, but now he's had a season at Chelsea. He's now proving his worth. So it's all boding good for the future. And the other thing is, we actually above Arsenal. We're above Arsenal for the first time in 3 seasons maybe, and Arsenal have to go to the Etihad tomorrow. So at the end of match week 5, we could still find ourselves above Arsenal. So we're actually in the top 4. Chelsea in the top 4. It's early days yet, I know, but these are the steps in the right direction. And as I said, I'm not getting carried away. There's still work to be done with this team, but it's looking good. The substitutes who came on today, and Cuckoo could have got another one. Brilliant save by Areola to stop him and prevent the scoreline from being even better. 4-0. A little bit disappointed with the cameo from João Felix. A couple of shots he's put wide. He's on the breakaway when he could have put Neto through. He's knocked the ball a bit too wide for him, allowed the West Ham defenders to come back. But again, I'm just kind of picking at things. So, and and the good thing is as well, because we've got such a wealth of talent up front, we can manage the game time of the players. Because Sancho, it wasn't as effective as last week, but still okay. But he's able to come off and get a rest. He's able to put on people like Neto a bit earlier, so Neto's getting more minutes under his belt. And you could take off your Nicolas Jacksons. I'd like to see him try and get a hat trick. But the manager knows what he's doing. As I said, there's many games, so you want to keep the players fresh. We know what our injury record was like last season, so he's trying to keep everyone fit and ready for the long season ahead. So we can't complain. The only defeat we've had this season against Manchester City. Apart from that, we've done what we needed to do. Palace, nitpicking, should have got the 3 points, but we didn't. But onwards and upwards. We've got Forest, I think it is, next week. We've got, on paper, 2 or 3 easy games. This was the hardest game on paper in the next 3 or 4 games. But as I said, it's what football's not played on paper. You've got to go out still on the pitch to do your work. And just hope that the confidence is there, that we can get that consistency in our game. And we'll see what happens. So, guys, what do you think about today's match? Are you excited about the win? Are there still areas you think we can work on? Do you think we'll be able to make top 4 on today's showing? Do you think we need another striker? Do you think Nicolas Jackson will be enough? Questions? Just stick all your comments in the section below. And don't forget, as always, like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications to be notified every time I make a new video. So take care. Up the Blues.